It's the Wait a Minute Show.
Hold up. Wait a minute, show. JD Bodie, that's my bro. Wait a minute, show. My man Pan is on the low. Wait a minute, show. JD Bodie, that's my bro. Wait a minute, show. My man Pan is on the low. Coming straight out of Flake, Michigan. JB Bodie is him again. 2 times Wednesday, Saturday. Show make you wanna sing Donny Hathaway. Facebook Live, Spreaker.com. It's the Wait a Minute Show, fam. And we drop bombs as we proceed. Just tune in, no need to check the feed. Hanging with the stews. JB, that's my dude. And I don't mean to be rude, but these other shows lame like eating prunes. Facebook got you tweaking. Spreakers, eardrums bleeding. JB got what you need. My man Lopez saying yes indeed. Go to thewaitaminuteshow.com to follow all episodes.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? It is your man, Jelani JB Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show, and we are back in the building once again to give you your sports fix here in the ATL, here in the Lions Den Studios, and yes, here live in full effect for you. So I hope you're ready. Let's go ahead and get situated. Let's go ahead and get excited. We got some stuff to talk about. Week 10 of the NFL is here. We're going to talk about my NFL 3-pack. What else are we going to talk about? D-Hop is in the news. He has some issues with some of the rules that are in the NFL right now, so we'll go into that. Bears are making a change. Yes, the Chicago Bears have decided to make a change. And we got some NBA news, some NBA rumors, some NBA wants, and maybe some NBA happenings. But before we do all that, I cannot go any further without introducing my co-host, the person with the most enthusiasm, I guess, the person who is sometimes a thorn, and you know what? But he is always here. He has always got my back, and he is always ready to be controversial. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for none other than the L, the O, the P, the A, the N. Ladies and gentlemen, Lil Pan, somewhere around here, is in the building. Yes. So he's ready to go. I hope you guys are ready to go. But before we go any further, you already know what time it is. I've been talking about this since October 27th, and I'm going to continue to talk about it into the month of December. It is the Wait a Minute Show toy drive. It is in full effect. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure if you have not, go to the website, thewaitaminuteshow.com, and make your donations now. It is very easy to do. When you go to the website, at the very top, very easy to see. You got 3 options. You have yourself a PayPal, you have yourself a Cash App, and you have yourself a GoFundMe button up there. So however way that you want to do it. This is for a great cause. This is for the kids that's out there, anywhere from the ages of 1 to 18 that we are sponsoring. All the money goes to sponsoring the kid at nonprofit organization Helping Hands of Paulding County. We've been doing this now. This is year 8. And want to continue to do it year after year after year after year. And we want to go out there, find what these kids want, find what these kids need that would not get it normally this year, and make it happen for them and make it happy holidays for them. So, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you go to thewaitaminuteshow.com. At the very top, all you have to do is click on whichever way that you would like to donate, and we appreciate anything and everything that you can do. You can donate by money. Hey, $1, $2, $5, whatever it is, $5,000. If you got it, we'll take it. But if that's not the case, please share it on your social media. Share it with someone, a friend, a family member, co-worker, or whatever it is that may be out there. Someone you may bump into that's wanting to give to a great cause. That works as well. So do not forget, because I'm going to be talking about it throughout the entire show, the Wait a Minute Show toy drive that is going on right now in full effect. So Now that I got that out the way, I guess we're here to talk about sports. So let's go ahead and talk about some sports here. And we're going to start with the NFL and my 3-pack that we got going. And that is actually Sunday, Week 10 NFL games that is on the docket that I feel that everyone should be watching or have their ears and eyes tuned to the two and try and figure out how this thing may play out, or who's going to win, or if it's a game that we're going to be talking about later on as, you know, one of the games to watch this past week. And we're going to first start with a game that we all were hoping or thinking that we would get at some point if everything played out right. And unfortunately, it had to happen with an injury, and the other one was just a guy, being told to take a seat. But Miami versus the LA Chargers. So that is a game I think everyone should be watching. Why? Yes, it's because of the two quarterbacks that will be starting for Week 10. We thought, I thought by this point in Week 10 that Tua would be starting. We thought Justin Herbert probably would be starting as well with Tyrod Taylor, having the seat due to an injury. Not the way we thought it would play out, but here we are. This is what we got. You got the two quarterbacks that got taken in the first round. Joe Burrow is also, out there, but they're not playing against each other this week. But these are two of the top 3 quarterbacks that were taken. So that's one reason why this thing is going to be interesting, because everyone's going to be looking at it and trying to figure out who got the better of the deal. Who should have went first? Who should have went second? Who should have went third? Actually, who should have went second or third, because Joe went first. But I think it's going to be a great game. Now, on the Chargers side, their whole thing is, can they hold a lead? They've been blowing leads left and right this season. That's no secret. So can they hold a lead? Because Justin Herbert has been playing pretty well for a rookie quarterback. He lost Austin Eckler. Obviously, Melvin Gordon is somewhere else playing. So those, his running backs is gone. But also now he's lost Justin Jackson this week to IR. So he's going to be out at least 3 weeks. So you're going to be looking at another rookie as well, Joshua Kelly, as far as can he step in and be the workhorse back for this team? Look, Justin Herbert is to me, he has exceeded expectations this year. Coming from Oregon, looking at, the offense that he was playing in and the system that he was playing in, and then, having to go to the pro level and play under center, I give the kid credit, for what he's done. He's played against some teams. He's had his teams in these games. He can't play defense. He's not, part of the reason of the collapse. They've been putting up 20-plus points every week in a game. So, yes, he's a rookie quarterback, and he got, some things that he can work on, but he's definitely not the reason, one reason I should say, that they're, losing these games. Now they're dealing also on the defensive side. Joey Bosa is supposed to not be playing as well due to a concussion, so he's going to miss his second game, and they got some injuries of guys that they just lost off, for this year. On the other side, for Miami, Tua had a slow start, but you saw last week for the way he played, it was something that everyone kind of felt, and I'm still sticking to my pick is that I really thought Tua was going to be the first overall pick, and it was just more the injuries thing, and could he stay healthy? So far, it's only been a sample size, so obviously we don't know that. But if he stays healthy, I think a lot of people are going to be, turning their heads and maybe thinking like, maybe we should have looked at this first overall pick. But Brian Flores, I give him all the credit in the world. I questioned him last year in some of the moves that he is doing, but obviously those moves are paying off this year because Miami is in a playoff race at this moment, and they're doing it with guys that I guess, we could say we're kind of surprised with. The running game is not, where you want it to be, but it is, substantial, to win a game. The defense itself, they've been playing, pretty well. And it's just, and here's the thing. The really big thing about it is that it's not the old Miami Dolphins football that we were used to seeing for the past 3, 4, 5 years. and they've turned a corner, and maybe, just maybe, in a year or two, we're going to be talking about the Miami Dolphins, along with the Buffalo Bills, which I think is already here right now, and challenging the New England Patriots, which there are still question marks now with the New England Patriots. So that's the first game. Second game, I just mentioned the Buffalo Bills. I talked about them last week, and I'm going to talk about them again this week. Buffalo Bills versus the Arizona Cardinals. That is going to be an awesome game, I think, as well, because you got two quarterbacks who are definitely able to move in Josh Allen and also in Kyler Murray, but also will use their arm. Now, Josh Allen has the rocket and he has the missile, and Kyler Murray is no Shaq himself, but both of these guys have improved their teams. Both of these guys have definitely upgraded their teams. And on the defensive side, the Buffalo Bills were, pretty good on defense anyway. But I think for the Arizona Cardinals, getting Patrick Peterson back, that helped out. I'm trying to think of why am I drawing a blank right now? He came out of Temple. Oh, man. Well, they got Devondre Campbell as well as a free agent. But, and if I could remember this guy's name, and I know Lopan is going to kill me. Actually, maybe I should just look it up, while I'm here. But picked this guy up in the draft. They moved him from inside linebacker to outside linebacker, which was good for him because playing on the inside, he struggled. And now that they moved him to the outside, he's more of a threat. And I'm saying all this buying time while I'm looking up this guy's name. So I want you to bear with me for 1 second. And I talked about him before, and I have no idea why it escapes me. But Devondre Campbell is on this team. They got Jordan Hicks, which came from Philadelphia. He is a upgrade as well. He is an added addition. Hassan Reddick was the name that I was looking for. And this guy has been a factor this year with the change and moving to the outside linebacker position. So Arizona, you got your DeAndre Hopkins, you got your Christian Kirk, you got your Larry Fitzgerald that's out there. So we know on the offensive side, as far as like at the wide receiver spot, that they're going to be deadly. Chase Edmonds, it looked like he's going to get the start. Kenyon Drake, limited practice, but I don't think, myself personally, I don't think he's going to play. I think they'll sit him out another week just so to be safe, but they may not even need him this game. Aerial attack, Kyler Murray running the ball himself. That's what I think that Arizona will do, in this game. Buffalo, I want to go against Buffalo, but then these type of games, that's when they show and make you eat your words. But I'm going to go with Arizona. And I'm sorry, I didn't even pick, the first game. I'm going to go with the LA Chargers as well. I say they finally able to hold on to a lead and win the game. So last game that we got on the 3-game docket is the Baltimore Ravens taking on the New England Patriots. That is the Sunday night treat that we're going to get. And this is more Lamar Cam. Who's going to be, the more efficient? Who's going to be the more effective quarterback on both of these sides? Now, they're not having the season that they once had. That's why you get to play again another week to change everybody's thought process about it. The New England Patriots are sitting at a losing record. And people will say, why would you be surprised about that, Jelani? I am surprised about it a little bit because I did think that they would be able to figure things out and at least be at 500. I'm not saying I had them at 8-1 or something like that, but I did think that they were going to be able to figure it out. But they have not. The Ravens, look, here's the thing about the Ravens to me. People are talking about how Lamar hasn't had, the impact that he had last year. Of course, I agree with that. But it's not like they are losing games to opponents that they shouldn't be losing to. They lost to the Steelers. That's always a tough game for them. I wasn't expecting them to go 14-2 anyway this year because now they are not a surprise. Now Lamar is not, someone that people are taking lightly. Let's just say that. So I'm not surprised that that they've had a few struggles. The Patriots, like I said, I thought they would be at least at 500 at this point, but it's going to be a Sunday night game. You're going to have Bill Belichick there. John Harbaugh is going to be there as well. So you're going to have two of the top coaches as well. And this is really just, can Lamar include the passing game more? I don't even know if Mark Ingram's going to play, but can you get something? Now, 2 weeks ago against Pittsburgh, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins did a great job, in playing in that game. Although they didn't win it, but he did a great job. Then they followed up playing Dallas and not Dallas. Who did they play? I want to say Miami or somebody, but they end up not playing, a team as tough as the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they wet the bed, So which of these, running back duos are the Baltimore Ravens going to supply, in this Sunday night game? I think against the Pittsburgh Steelers is what you're going to get. I think they played down to their competition last week. So although the Patriots are not where we want them to be, I think it's still going to be, a game to watch. It's going to be interesting. At the end of the day, I say Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens are going to win this game as well. So those are my 3 packs for you. Check them out, watch them. Hey, and then we'll see if I'm right next week. If not, it is what it is, But let's move on. Keep in the NFL and DeAndre Hopkins. And we were just mentioning him with the Arizona Cardinals, but DeAndre Hopkins is in the news. And you listen to the Wait a Minute show with your man, Jelani JB Bodie. But he is in the news for something a little weird, or a little different, I should say. Maybe not weird, a little different. He is talking about defensive pass interference. And what he is referencing about defensive pass interference is that he thinks wide receivers should be given the credit for the yardage for defensive pass interference. He thinks that it's a sign of respect because just this past week, he only had 30 yards receiving, but he had 4 defensive pass interference penalties called against him. So obviously he was an impact on the field because they got the yardage from the interference. But he's like, hey, I should get the yardage too, and that should count. Okay, I thought about it. I don't agree. No, and here's why. With a catch, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, because people might go, Dez Bryant, that was a catch. But for me, more times than not, with a catch, it's a catch. With a defensive pass interference, there's been plenty of times that the refs have missed that call. And now you want to be awarded yardage off of someone else's mistake? Nah, I'm not with that. I like I said, I totally get where he's going with it, and I totally get his reasoning for it, but I'm not on board with it. Let's just keep it like it is. It's a penalty. I mean, there's no other, penalty out there that I'm thinking of right now where you get credited for the yardage. If it's a false start, the defense doesn't get, credit for that. If it's a hole, nobody else get yardage credit for anything, any else, a face mask or something like that. Nobody gets any credit statistically wise for a penalty. So I don't think because if you do that, you opens up where everybody's going to be like, well, you know what? I should have got, credit for that, In the Wait a Minute show chat room, the greatest is saying, Dez caught it. Dez caught it. Cowboy fans, you really got to let that go, okay? I was with you on that. I said Dez caught that thing. But There we go. There's another thing, Mistake by the refs? No. But yeah, Dez did catch that. It was. Also, the greatest is bringing up about who's in first place in the Wait a Minute Show Fantasy Football League. It is the greatest, But have you finished first place? Because if you don't walk away with the championship, it's like Ricky Bobby said. It don't matter, If you ain't first, you're last. So it's all about how you finish, but you're in a great spot right now. Keep up the great work, the greatest. So last thing we're going to talk about before we go to the break is the Chicago Bears. So this Monday night football game that's going to be going on between the Bears and the Vikings will be a little bit different because Bears head coach, Coach Nagy, has decided to turn over offensive calling play duties to offensive coordinator Bill Lazor. And I guess I'm thinking, 10 weeks in, what took you so long? This offense has not been good as far as stat-wise. They're 29th in points scored. It was a time. It was been time for a change. Is it going to solve their problem? I don't know, but at least it's worth a shot. And Bill Nagy Coach Nagy says, well, we don't know if it's permanent or not. Why not? It was under your tutelage and it hasn't been doing great. So why not? Let's finish the rest of the season, give Bill Lazor, an opportunity. And then he said, this is not all about Mike Nagy, You're right. It shouldn't have been about Mike Nagy. You're absolutely right. And then he was talking about, he basically made it seem, as it would, he said, this would give me, this is a great opportunity for me to, head coach overall, all three, positions from the head coaching position and all this stuff. So this is all dressed up to be, hey, I sucked at calling plays as the offensive coordinator. Maybe it was too much on his plate. That could have been. And then there's nothing wrong with that because with the head coach, you have a lot of responsibilities. And I just think instead of giving us all this stuff about, what we know and what was obvious and everything, just say, hey, man, I wasn't getting it done at this point. So I'm going to turn it over to somebody else. Let's see what happens. And then move on from there. But don't give it to us as far as like you're making this great move and this is going to, traject the team, somewhere else. No. You're 29th. You can't go nowhere but up at this point. So, yeah, give the play calling to Bill Lazor. Let's see what happened with this Bears offense. Maybe he'll be able to utilize Nick Foles a little bit better. Maybe he'll be able to get Allen Robinson the freaking ball a little bit more. Side note, Allen Robinson is on my fantasy football team, so, that's why I'm interested in it. But get the rest of these guys, and then make them more efficient in the game going on with the play calling. So it doesn't hurt at this point. And look, they're still relevant. They're still in the playoff race. They're still, in the division race as well. So why not? Why not? Take a chance. Take a chance. You never know what's going to happen. But I do know what's going to happen now. We're going to take a break. And then when we come back from the break, we're going to get into some NBA news, and then we'll get back into some football news as well on the other side. So it is the Wait a Minute Show. We'll be back after these words.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Vince Wright, the sports governor, and you know me from the Sports Done Right show. But when I'm not doing Sports Done Right, I'm in the executive mansion chilling with the Wait a Minute Show. That's right, Jelani Lopan. Indeed. Keep it tuned here, y'all. The Wait a Minute Show. My name is Vince Wright, and I approve this message.
Attention, all sports fans. If you're someone who wakes up each morning with what's important events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard.
The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the college, and everything in between. This is Leah Barthelemy of IU Sports Radio. Welcome you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with Leah Barthelemy every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IU Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there.
You want your next Atlanta event to be memorable? If so, have Drinking Color at your next function. Drinking Color is sophisticated bartending that creates signature cocktails for your special occasion. Wow your family, friends, and business associates next time with Drinking Color. You can contact the owner, Kiki Lewis, at 678-813-7102. That's 678-813-7102. You can also email her at drinkandcolor@gmail.com and follow her on Instagram at drinkandcolor. And tell her you were referred by the Wait a Minute Show. Drink and Color, cocktail tailored. Let the cocktail sparkle at your next event.
This is Girly Girl. Join me every Sunday at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Girly Girls World for intriguing conversation and relevant topics. Girly Girls World for the women on the go and the men who want to know. Girly Girls World Sundays at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back and you are listening to
It's the Wait a Minute Show.
here on the waitaminuteshow.com. So before I go any further, you heard me say this before and I'll say it again. I'm going to say it over at the end of the show. The Wait a Minute Show toy drive is in full effect. So make sure, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you are sharing this on your social media page. And if you haven't already, man, we need your help. We really do. We get this thing and we do this thing every year, but we do not do it by ourselves because you guys are the ones that make this thing run. So thewaitaminuteshow.com, just go there at the very top of the screen. You're going to see 3 options: GoFundMe, PayPal, or Cash App. However way that you would like to donate, or however way you can share this to let somebody else know, but then please do that. We have done not everything, but we have done things with getting kids art supplies. We have gotten gift cards. We have gotten clothes. We've bikes, Xboxes, drones. We have even had kids meet an NBA champion in Dwayne Wade. That is all because of you guys helping me out here at the Wait a Minute Show toy drive to make this stuff happen. I told you before, we sponsor kids at nonprofit organization Helping Hands of Paulding County, and whatever it is that they want, we go out there and try and make it happen, for them. So we want to continue to do this thing. We want this thing to go even bigger. Maybe we can introduce a kid to an NFL Super Bowl winning player. You never know. You never know, but I can't do this without you guys. So I need your help. TheWaitaminuteshow.com. Again, Facebook, Cash App, or GoFundMe. You'll see the buttons on there. So please, please, please do whatever it is that you can. We appreciate it. $1, $2, $5, doesn't even matter. If you got, Lopan ain't got no money. Yeah, but if you got $5,000, we'll take it. So let's move on and let's talk about the NBA, these rumors that's going on in the NBA. So we already talked about on Wednesday's show on X Squad Radio Network, shouts out to them, that we were talking about James Harden, and then Russell Westbrook name came up, and actually PJ Tucker name came up, and we were talking about the Houston Rockets. Maybe it's time really to just restart and start over and do whatever it is you need to do. So Russell Westbrook names are out there, and some of the teams, or a couple teams that's been brought up for Russell Westbrook. Actually, it's been 3. You got the Clippers, you got the Hornets, and you got the Knicks that have all uttered the words, or have being reported that have uttered the words of Russell Westbrook. None of those teams, for me, maybe the Hornets, because, and it's not anything against the Hornets. It's just as far as where Russell Westbrook is in his career, I don't think that process that the Hornets is going through, he wants to be a part of that, right now. So that's why I really don't rule the Hornets being in there unless they just put some, crazy deal together that the Rockets just can't turn down. Then yeah, but I'm sure Russ is trying to say, hey, maybe to the Knicks because they're trying to do some things. They got Thibodeau out there, which we'll be talking about Thibodeau in just a matter of fact. But I think, the Clippers is probably the number one, spot that they would probably send him or where he wants to go. And also, I think the Clippers is, the team that probably can offer the most back for the Houston Rockets as far as like what they're trying to get, for Russell Westbrook. How would he fit in LA? He'll be home. That'll be great. And you'll have 3 homegrown guys playing for the Clippers in Kawhi and Paul George. It would be interesting. Let's just say that. I really don't know how, because we know Russell is a little bit of a volume shooter to a certain degree. It would not funnel through him, which I don't think he would just go in and have a big problem with that because of who's there. I think the more issue that I think that they would have is really trying to figure out who runs what, when they do it, who they funnel it through, how they're going to run it. Obviously Kawhi would be the, number one, guy. But hey, here's the thing, that's about it. Kawhi can take those load management, and they don't have to worry about those games because Russell Westbrook is going to play as long as, he's not injured. Paul George, they can rotate those guys in and out. So that would probably be a good look, for the Clippers. How much are the Clippers giving up? That's the question. But Russell Westbrook, I don't think he's going to be in Houston when the season starts. He's going to be somewhere playing for someone else, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. In the Wait a Minute Show chat room, Kyron says there aren't enough balls to go around in LA with him being there. And that's a valid point, But I do think, because like I just said before, I do think because who's there, it might be a little bit easier. But Russ is a guy, he gets into a rhythm. And once when he gets into a rhythm, he's really dangerous. But it'll be interesting to see, those 3 guys there along with the Lakers, because now we're moving on to the next rumor, and that has to deal with the Lakers and DeMar DeRozan's. So there's a rumor out there that the Lakers are interested in DeMar DeRozan, and they're looking at possibly trading Kyle Kuzma and Danny Green for DeMar DeRozan. So Danny would end back up in San Antonio, which I got a funny feeling that if he does end back up in San Antonio, somehow, some way, he's still going to end up somewhere else. I don't know if he's going to stay in San Antonio, but they would get Kyle Kuzma, guy from FLINT. I always shout out to people from Flint. I think that would be a pretty good trade for the Lakers, because we just talked about Russ being a volume shooter at times. DeMar DeRozan is completely opposite. He's an efficient shooter. He's a guy that, doesn't play out of his range. He would add that third scorer with LeBron and Anthony Davis. He would be a guy that would, that could definitely play defense. So I don't know if he's the same defensive player as a Danny Green is, but he's still going to bring you some defensive presence there. And he is a guy that is a third superstar. He would come in. I think he would fit in. DeMar DeRozan, other than that whole Toronto situation, you've never you heard a peep out of him or heard anything, about him doing anything. So I think he can get along and fit in with what they're doing there. And that would be an excellent move. Now, you don't want to give up Kyle Kuzma, but what this thing really is about is how many championships can we win before LeBron retires? That's exactly what this thing is about. Then we'll figure out, the future later on. Now, I hate to say it, and people in Flint will probably be mad at me, but Kyle Kuzma was not in line to take over the LA Lakers. We already know that is Anthony Davis. He is in line to take over, and then they're going to add pieces, around him. So this is about, let's win as many before LeBron leaves, and then we'll build off of this with Anthony Davis and move on, from there. Kyron also says, I would have kept Kyle Kuzma and allow him to develop. DeRozan will get lost in the shuffle in LA. I don't know if he's going to get lost in the shuffle, because they will carve out a role for him. There are going to be, now remember, Rajon Rondo was rumored to be going to the Clippers. And that makes sense because Rajon probably would take, a discount. Pat Beverly, I think he's getting paid more than Rajon as well. And you probably can't keep Pat Beverly if you're going to get Russell Westbrook. So you're going to be missing Rajon Rondo. Then Avery Bradley, we don't know if he's going, what that situation is going to be like. And people are thinking I'm, making a joke, but Jared Dudley and some of those other guys are not going to be around. And what I mean by that is just, veteran guys that got veteran leadership and has veteran experience. So I do think, the Kyle going on is not going to, hurt them as much. And you already won one championship. So, you can always just say, hey, we got one. It's different if we didn't get anything and then Kyle goes on. And I think it'll be great, for Kyle Kuzma as well, because he looks like he really wants to contribute or do more, on the team. And the Lakers are not going to let him do that because of the situation. He's never going to be able to do that. Unless he just really sit and keep quiet and then just play the game. But I don't think, that's what he wants to do. Moving on, let's talk about the Knicks and Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau is telling the Knicks that he really wants them to make some win-now moves. Win-now moves. Be careful what you ask for, Coach Tibbs. And the only reason I say that is because the Knicks have made moves before that were win-now moves. And they have not panned out, and they turned into, how could you pay this person? How could you do that? What is going on? There are a lot of guys that came through the city of New York that I completely forgot about. A lot of guys that can play. Don't get me wrong. So I'm just saying you got to be careful with this win now, because what does win now mean? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to do? Because right now the stigma that is on the Knicks is that you guys don't know what you're doing. And you're trying to get someone that's not a draft pick to come there and say, hey, and put their hand up. Hey, I'm going to change this thing around. I'm going to change this and make it right. And I don't know if there's anybody that really wants to do that. Now, Fred VanVleet is out there. He said, you guys, I need to get paid. And he's not talking about the Knicks. He's talking about everybody. Show me the money! He wants the money. Now, if he ends up in New York, that's great. But Fred VanVleet is not that big splash move. Fred VanVleet is an addition to the big splash move that you be like, they got X and Fred. That's a nice combination. So when you say win now, we have to be careful about that, because the win now that they've done before didn't pan out. And then when they had their guy, Porzingis, that relationship deteriorated, and then he went on somewhere else and forced his way out of New York. Right now, the Brooklyn Nets run the city of New York, or the state of New York. New York, son. New York. And people are going to the Brooklyn Nets. So I just don't know what the win now move is. You know, if they get Westbrook, great. But you got a lot of other pieces you need to add, you know, with that. And maybe Tibbs, you know, got a plan. He's going to say, if I get player X, this is what we can do, you know, on that. But E-Double in the Wait a Minute Show chat room said Van Fleet isn't a splash in a kiddie pool. Oh, wow. Wow. E-Double a little disrespectful in here, ain't he, Lopez? Yeah. Oh, wow. Isn't a splash in a kiddie pool. Whoa. Mr. Van Fleet, if you get this, remember, I didn't say anything. So this is all E-Double. Now, last thing in the NBA is the Warriors. The Golden State Warriors are making a little news, you know, because obviously we're going to have a season that's coming up pretty quickly. And obviously we're trying to figure out how this whole thing is going to happen with the fans, because there is no bubble no more. And the NBA obviously is saying that we cannot keep doing, you know, a bubble. We got to have our fans, and the Golden State Warriors is pointing this out. Now, Golden State is willing to drop $30 million. And why are they willing to drop $30 million? What are they dropping $30 million on? They are talking about that they are willing to have fans in. They're looking at about 50% capacity, but pay for the rapid test for fans to come to the games, but still have the social distancing, you know, for those fans. But they have an idea, they have a plan in effect that they're saying that would work, and an air filtration system that they're saying that they're going to be, you know, utilizing inside. People will still be required to wear masks and everything, but they have really sat down and tried to figure this thing out and saying that it, you know, that it could work. Now, the state of California is not letting anyone gather like that right now, so they're trying to figure out if they can change city officials' minds to let this happen, and also try and change the NBA mind. And it's something that maybe they may look at. It maybe it's something that could come to fruition, or actually be something that happens. Normally, I would be like, no. But these guys are right there in the middle of Silicon Valley. And if anything, they, you know, in that world, in that area, you have people that are way ahead of what the, you know, the future is holding, and they are trying to figure this thing out. It could work. I'm not saying I'm 100% on board with it, but I would be interested in listening to what they say. Maybe not 50%. Maybe you started out 10%, and then if it works, you can keep ratcheting it up and then roll it out to, you know, other stadiums. If they're willing to, because they're going to have to spend the money, but if they're willing to spend the money. But then here's the other thing. You really got to know, or you really got to see if fans are going to show up. I'm going to be honest right now. I am not interested in showing up to an NBA game at this point when the season starts. I'm just not. I'm just being honest. I'm going to sit there and wait. But they are definitely doing their due diligence. They are definitely doing their testing, and they are definitely feeling confident that they could probably make, you know, a difference in this. And at least they are, you know, having something in the works, something that we can actually analyze, or at least break down, look at, you know, on it, versus just saying, hey, come in here and we'll limit how many people, you know, are coming, and you over there, you know, everything. Because at some point, people are going to want to start coming back to the games. And I saw in the Wait a Minute chat room, someone said they just want money. He did reference that. He said that it's not just about the money. He said that people will, it's not about the money. That's one thing he said. He did acknowledge, though, hey, we still do need to make revenue. And if we don't, we can't keep living or surviving, off of fans not being there. But he did point out and say, with that plan, it would make it safer. Because it's not 100% safe. If you're going, you are taking some type of risk. It may be a calculated risk. It may be a minimum risk, but you are still taking some type of risk. And I think everyone knows that. It's just how much of a risk, on. And yes, they got to make money. They don't, they're going to be out of business just like everybody else. But I don't see the NBA, letting that happen. But I do see another break happening for us. So we're going to take a break. And then when we come back, we'll get back into some football news. And who knows, because Lopan is getting on my nerves over here. But we'll be back after these words. I'm going to be talking about this Wait a Minute Show toy drive, so you might as well get ready. We'll be back on the other side.
We don't take orders from super fools. We give them.
Let's go, give it to you.
Any and all resistance will crumble. Nonsense. There's never been a threat.
Squad.
Couldn't handle. It is the purpose of the
Squad.
to align our infamous forces against the powers of good and defeat them, leaving us the rulers of the world.
We all hate when we have unexpected car problems. Well, I'm here to tell you about a viable solution. Beta 11 Auto and my man, Melvin. You have emission problems? Brakes need changing? Transmission slipping? Is your car just driving sluggish? No problem is too big. I live on the other side of town, and I drive over an hour to a guy that I trust. Melvin is honest, dependent, and definitely not in the business to break your pockets. Come see the official mechanic, Melvin, at Bay 11 Auto. You will be glad you did. You can reach him at 1455 General Arts Road, Conyers, Georgia, or 404-295-5715. That's 404-295-5715.
Do you like making an impression? Who doesn't? Well, when you want to dress to impress for less, check out Rail Scott and Prime Ties to Go on Facebook and Instagram. Quality accessories for men and women at low, counted low prices. Everything from ties, bow ties, watches, bracelet, earrings, and pocketbooks. Don't miss out. Check out Rail Scott the owner at Prime Ties to Go. That's Prime Ties, the number 2, Go on Facebook and Instagram.
Yo, what's good? It's Trey Ray Jones with Styles. This is the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Sure. Make sure y'all tune in to us every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time.
He's the brain of operations.
I'm telling you right now, book it.
And him, he's along for the ride. But together, they bring you sports like you've never heard before. The Wait a Minute Show, a new way of discussing today's trending sports topics. And now, back to the show with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie.
Indeed, Lil Pine, indeed. So before we get back into the football news, and I give out my Big L Award, ladies and gentlemen, the Wait a Minute Show toy drive, the Wait a Minute Show toy drive in full effect. Just go to thewaitaminuteshow.com at the very top of the screen. GoFundMe, PayPal, Cash App, however way you want to do it. But help your boy out, man. Help your boy out. Now, I'm going to go back in the Wait a Minute Show chat room. Kyron says, couldn't they work with the cable companies and have something similar to League Pass if you want to watch the games so they can still generate revenue? Here's the only problem about that, Kyron. With the League Pass is to watch, obviously, games that are out of your area. local games, especially like, Golden State and the Lakers and Miami Heat maybe, and, a bunch of other teams, those games aren't played locally only if there's the tickets haven't sold and there's a blackout, if you will. So those games were already coming to fans locally there anyway, and then you don't have to pay anything. Now, what they could do is, if you want to watch the game, but now that might be a problem, is charging people to watch the game. You got a problem. Maybe, they do something, with the virtual fan. Maybe they're offering something additional with it for people to, make some type of payment. But yeah, the problem is if you're locally like I am here in Atlanta and I want to watch the Hawks, well, the Hawks game been local. I mean, it's been on TV. It's been free. So, you come to me and say, all right, give me $5. I might put you on here for the Big L Award, talking to me like that. I know Lopan definitely would. So that's that's part of the problem as far as like how you're going to generate this revenue. And it's not just that too, because when fans come in, they buy food, they buy drinks, they buy apparel, depending on, what the team is, parking, because you have to pay all those other employees that normally work those venues and everything. So it's something that they're going to have to work out. But I totally get, what you're getting at about is, it has to be a way that fans can, still watch the game and the NBA can get their money. Now, let's move on to Aaron Rodgers. And he is talking about what he feels is a double standard in the NFL when it comes to the COVID situation. Now, you heard me give the NFL a Big L Award for the whole jersey swap thing, banning the jersey swap, and I went crazy, talking about how, well, wait a minute, I can roll all over somebody, blah, 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 and, but jersey swaps are off limits, So Aaron Rodgers is talking about how he's saying, hey, I can dap somebody up after the game. We can, run into each other, and just like I was talking about all game, but then you got these bears in the locker, or I can't even eat with my teammates. We all got to be, distance apart. We can't get together, for outside team activities because of the policy, and everything. And that affects the chemistry, for the team and all that. And he goes on with some other stuff. And I think, here's the thing about, what he's saying. Once again, I get it. Some of the stuff that he's talking about is valid. But at the end of the day, there's going to be something under this situation that somebody's not going to like. Yes, if the games are going to be played, yes, guys got to be running into each other and grabbing on, and throwing each other down and being all on top of each other. Yes, all of that is necessary. But after that, yes, they're trying to limit the interaction that you have, because you just spent 3 hours rolling around and dapping each other up and slapping each other on the helmet and, helping each other up off the ground. So, yes, I totally get what Aaron Rodgers is saying, but on the flip side of it is, yes, I have to do all this other stuff to limit you guys, because if you're playing the game and then you're going on each other's houses, then you're all next to each other in the locker room and you're sitting with each other, in the cafeteria and all this stuff. So if you're around each other all the time still, it increased the chances. So yes, it is a double standard, Aaron, but they don't care. All right. So let's move on from there. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Golden Tate. So Golden Tate, I talked about Golden Tate with the New York Giants. They basically told him last week, you have a seat. We're going to go play this game and we'll be back after that. and it was all due to, you know, a Monday night game they had against the Bucks, and he was frustrated because they weren't throwing him the ball, and he spoke into the camera, you know, and his wife was out there, you know, speaking on it and everything. Golden Tate has done the right thing. Came out and he apologized. Said that's just out of his character. And I truly believe that because other than, you know, him getting in a fight with Percy Harvin or something like that, but football players get in fights all the time, you know, Golden Tate has never really been out there to, well, it was a time with Jalen Moran. That's different. But Golden Tate has never really been a guy that was about himself, you know, and it was obvious that he wanted to help the team. I really thought this was about, hey, the coach came in and he's just like, I can't have someone, you know, being vocal and I don't do anything about it. And so I think, and I know Golden, you know, understood that. That's why he apologized for it. He's not trying to get a trade or anything like that. Frustration will make you do different things. Now, I'm not condoning. I'm not saying, you know, hey, if you're being insubordinate, you're being insubordinate. So that's why they left him at home. And he realized that they worked it out. They're going to move on. That's the great thing, you know, about it is that instead of trying to hold something or prove something and everything, all right, let's talk about it. Let's get it over with and let's move forward. Because we still got some games, you know, to play. And Golden Tate probably won't be there next year. He's still got, you know, some auditioning to do for other teams because he is still a valuable asset to a team somewhere else in the NFL. The man is a yak machine. Yak. Yards after the catch. When you got that, I mean, when you got that, you got some interest. Let's just say that. But he will be back with the team. He's going to play, and then everything should be all good and dandy. But Giants did what they had to do. He understood it. They're moving forward. Everything is great. Now, having said all that, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the point at the end of the show where I hand out my Big L Award. So for those who do not know, the Big L Award stands for the Big Loser Award, where we all do something losers at times, and it is what it is. You know, I've gotten a Big L Award. Lopan has gotten a Big L Award. A bunch of people have gotten a Big L Award. So it's no different, okay? No different. We're not biased at all. So we got to hand it out. We've handed it out to individuals. We've handed it out to companies. We've handed it out to groups, students, you know, whatever. I mean, family members. We've handed this thing out to everyone. But I don't think we've ever handed it out to a station. A television station, to be exact, ladies and gentlemen. So the Big L Award is going out to a television station that is being mad disrespectful. And if you've heard me before, or you follow me on social media, you have heard me talk about, hey man, don't be disrespectful to Thanksgiving. All right? Look, we know everybody is waiting on Christmas, but don't be disrespectful to Thanksgiving. Right after Halloween, people start talking about Christmas, which they shouldn't, and they should give Thanksgiving the due respect that they deserve. The Hallmark Channel, ladies and gentlemen. Look, and I know about this channel because my wife has it on, and she's playing it, and it's on every day, all right? So I see it, and you know, because you see it, you're just like, all right, bet, let's see what's going on. The Hallmark Channel is running like this freaking Christmas. It's not even a marathon because it's been going on all month. I think it's starting in October, if you will. It's been going on all month. They've been playing these Christmas movies back to back to back to back back to back. And it's so many of them that they got stacked up, ladies and gentlemen. These are not even movies from like the 70s or the 80s. All these movies look like they've been done in the past 5 to 6 years. It's just like, how many Christmas movies can you make at once? And they have continued to play Christmas movie after Christmas movie after Christmas movie. Now, of course, the Wait a Minute Show toy drive is coming up, and that's why we're talking about it. But we have to talk about it because there is no Wait a Minute Show Thanksgiving drive. All right? If it was, then we would do that. But you guys know Christmas is around. You can prepare for it. You got 25 to 29 days to run Christmas stuff. But you choose not to. You want to go ahead and overlap yourself and step beyond your boundaries and go into the Thanksgiving bracket. The Hallmark Channel should be ashamed of themselves. I know you got some Thanksgiving movies in there that you could be running. And then you're probably going to be running them on Thanksgiving too. Still running Christmas stuff. You could at least run a Black Friday movie or something. But no. You just really want to be disrespectful and go on and on and on with this Christmas stuff. I'm talking about Christmas in the morning, Christmas at lunch, Christmas at night, Christmas in the middle of the night, Christmas when you get up and you go to the bathroom and then you come back. It's still Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. And you should be ashamed of yourself. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the Hallmark Channel, running all these Christmas shows and not putting one single Thanksgiving show in there, you got to take this big L.
See? Another loser.
Indeed as well, Lopez. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of the Wait a Minute Show. Hallmark Channel. A Black Friday sale or something movie. Something. All right, I'm going to get off that. But there you have it. Another episode of the Wait a Minute Show in the books. I hope y'all had a good time. I know I did, man. Let me thank some people that was in the background that was just listening. I appreciate you. People that was in the Wait a Minute Show chat room, like Kyron, E-Double, the greatest, my man, Teron Rodriguez. I appreciate y'all for coming in and chatting with your boy as well. And whoever going to be listening to this on the playback, I appreciate you in the future. One more time. The Wait a Minute Show toy drive. Make sure you share it. Make sure you talk about it. Make sure you help your boy out. The WaitAMinuteShow.com. Very easy to do. GoFundMe, PayPal, Cash App. Very easy to do. So I'm gonna get out of here. Let's see. What am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? First, show some respect to Thanksgiving. Okay. Second, we are around that time. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure you get yourself ready, man, to be the most positive person you can, man, because we are about to end this 2020 season and year, and we need to end this year on a positive note. We have had the challenges. We have had the letdowns. We have had, the things that have broke our heart in 2020, but we cannot let it break us. Do not let it break you. Remember that. Because if you're not broken, you still there and you still in the game. And all you can do is get stronger from it. Remember that. So I appreciate all of y'all. I love all of y'all. Thank you for tuning in, man. And we'll do it again. We'll do it again like we always do. Wednesday, X-Quad Radio Network, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be on then, so you can check us out. We'll be talking probably about Monday Night Football and whatever else is going on out there in the world of sports. You'll hear me talking about this toy drive as well. I'll be done with the Hallmark Channel. Disrespectful self. Disrespectful. I'm off that. What's up? I'm sorry. So, ladies and gentlemen, for your man, Jelani JB Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show, I'm going to get out of here, man, and I'll holler at y'all next time. 2 things as always. Stay positive and push forward. And I'll holler at y'all later.